Hello! I thought I would share this story with you. Traditional oral storytelling is a hobby, an interest of mine. I love going to listen to stories, and when I feel up to it, I do try to tell. So I thought this was an opportunity to share my passion and interest and a story with you, because I think this is a rather relevant story. Once there was a king, King Solomon. He was a successful king, a proud king, and he had lots of servants that did his bidding all the time. One particular servant was Benaiah. Now, Benaiah was his best friend and he's his right-hand man. Anything the king wanted, Benaiah could get it. One day, Solomon overheard Benaiah boasting, saying, "Oh yes, I'm the best there is. Anything King Solomon wants, I'm your man. Anything at all." King Solomon thought it would be worth bringing Benaiah down a peg or two, reining him in a bit. So he called him to it. He said, "Benaiah, come here. I've got a task for you. I would like you to find the ring that makes happy people sad and sad people happy." "Why, yes, of course, anything you want, sir," said Benaiah. "You have a year and a day, and then I want you to come back and show me the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad." Of course. So Benaiah went and he got on his horse and he rode out through the palace gates. He went into the city. He went to the jewellery quarters and he went to the shopping quarters, everywhere, all the different places of the city, saying, "Have you got the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad? You've got the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad, haven't you?" "No, you've heard of the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad." Nothing. No one had even heard of this ring. So Benaiah, he got back on his horse and he had to leave the city. He headed to the north, up into the cold mountains. The snowy winds blew from every direction. There were people in the town that had come down from the mountains. They were hidden in all sorts of caves in different places around the massive mountain range. Surely somebody has heard of the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad. Nothing. So Benaiah got back onto his horse and he headed south. He went to the desert lands. He could see caravans coming in from all directions. Surely somebody has heard of the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad. Have you heard of the ring? You've heard of the ring. You've got the ring, haven't you? Oh, nobody had heard of it. So he got back on his horse. He headed to the east, to the west, to the coasts, to the meadows, to the hillsides, everywhere, to the forests. No one had even heard of this ring. So Benaiah did what he had to do. He got back on his horse. By now, time was ticking past. The year and the day was nearly up. He had to head back to King Solomon's palace. He rode back into the city. His heart was heavy. He had never been so sad. He didn't know what he was going to do. He had to go and admit to the king that he had failed. Deep breaths. He was riding up to the palace gates. And then he noticed, just on the floor near the palace gates, on one of the side roads running up to it, there was a tinker. A young boy sat there with his grandfather. They had all sorts of random bits of metal and pots and pans and things for sale. Benaiah thought, no harm trying one last time. "Don't suppose you've got the ring that makes sad people happy and happy people sad, have you?" The boy just went, "No." But his grandfather overheard him and he said, "Wait a moment." He took a piece of metal from their stand. He wrote 4 words inside, bent it into a ring and handed it to Benaiah. "Really? You think you've got the ring that I've been searching all across the country for?" He picks up and he reads those 4 words. And as he read the words, a smile grew across his face. Thank you so much. He gave them money, he thanked them. Then he took that ring. He rode in through the palace gates with his head held high and a smile on his face. Meanwhile, King Solomon was sat at a feasting table. There was food, there was wine, there was music and dancing and laughter. He was happy. He knew Benaiah was going to come through those gates. He was waiting for him to bring him down a peg or two. He'd been drinking most of the day. He was pretty happy. He saw Benaiah walking towards him and said, Come, tell me of your adventures and your tales. So Benaiah walked up to him and said, Here you go, King. Here is the ring. Makes sad people happy and happy people sad. But I wasn't expecting you. Take a look. Solomon took the ring and then he read the words on the inside of the ring. A smile dropped from his face. Thank you, Benaiah. That was a task done well. He took the big ruby ring from his finger and handed it to Benaiah for payment. He then took that basic metal ring, put it on his finger. It stayed there until he died. I suppose you might want to know what those 4 words are. This too shall pass.